everybody, how are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. My name's Matthew and I post videos every Monday and Friday, so if you love the tingles, 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 then please do hit that subscribe button because you are in the right place. Before we get into this interesting case, myself and I, would like to ask you if you have any video suggestions or any true crime cases that you'd like me to cover or you'd like to know more about, which I guess is one and the same thing, and please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. I love doing your guys' requests. So, tonight I will gently guide you through the mysterious and still unsolved case of a British television presenter, Jill Dando. Let your mind relax as we unravel the details one soft step at a time. As you listen, imagine the quiet streets of London in the late 1990s. Everything is calm until the unthinkable happens. Now let's begin. Jill Wendy Dando was born on the 9th of November 1961 in Weston-super-Mare, a seaside town in Somerset, England. Growing up, she was known for her vibrant personality and curiosity about the world. She had a natural flair for storytelling, which would eventually lead her to a successful career in journalism. Jill began her career in local radio and then moved into television, becoming one of the most well-known and respected faces in British TV. By the mid-1990s, Jill had become a household name. She was beloved for her work on BBC News Holiday and, of course, Crime Watch, where she helped the nation solve real-life criminal cases. Her warm presence on screen made her a favourite to millions, and off-screen, Jill was known for her kind heart and strong dedication to charity. No one could have imagined that she would become the focus of a criminal investigation herself. On April 26, 1999, a day that would change everything. It was a regular Monday morning. Jill was engaged to her fiancé, Dr. Alan Farthing, and they were planning their wedding. That morning, she had spent time at his place before heading back to her home in Gowan Avenue, Fulham, London. The weather was mild. The streets were quiet. Jill parked her car nearby and walked up the steps to her home. She was about to unlock her front door when someone approached her from behind. In a matter of seconds, the unknown individual held a gun to her head. Firing a single shot, the killer then fled the scene, leaving no obvious clues behind. At 11:47 a.m., a neighbour found Jill slumped on her doorstep. She had been fatally shot in broad daylight in one of London's quietest neighbourhoods. It was an incomprehensible act of violence. The news of Jill Dando's death spread like wildfire. Her colleagues at the BBC, friends and family were devastated. How could such a well-loved public figure be murdered so ruthlessly? The police quickly launched a massive investigation. Over 100 detectives were assigned to the case. Forensic teams scoured the scene, hoping to find fingerprints, DNA, or any trace of the killer. But the crime scene yielded very little evidence. No fingerprints, no CCTV footage. It seemed the killer had planned the attack meticulously. The police were baffled. Could it have been a stalker, a disgruntled fan, or something more sinister. The theories began to pile up, but none provided a clear answer. Jill's death wasn't just the loss of a television star, it was the loss of a friend, a sister, a daughter. Her funeral, held at Weston-super-Mare, was attended by thousands. Her fiancé, Dr. Alan Farthing, was heartbroken. The couple had been so close to beginning their new life together. Jill's brother, Nigel Dando, spoke fondly of his sister, calling her the girl with $1 million smile. Her colleagues at the BBC were in shock, and the public mourned the loss of someone who had brought so much joy into their homes. The hunt for Jill's killer was one of the largest investigations in British history. Over 2,500 potential suspects were interviewed. The police examined her life, looking for anyone who might have held a grudge or had a motive. At first they believed that perhaps a stalker had killed Jill. After all, she was a public figure. But despite looking into known individuals who had shown an unhealthy interest in her, nothing materialised. One of the more shocking theories was that Jill had been a target of a professional assassination. Some speculated that her work on Crime Watch, which helped solve serious criminal cases, had made her a target. Could organised crime have been behind her murder? Then in 2000, a man named Barry George came to the attention of the police. He was known in the area and had a history of mental health issues. A fibre from his coat was allegedly found at the scene of the crime, and this led to his arrest. In July 2001, Barry George was convicted of Jill Dando's murder. It seemed for a moment that justice had been served, but not everyone was convinced. The evidence against him was mostly circumstantial. There was no direct proof linking him to the crime. After serving 7 years in prison, Barry George appealed his conviction in 2008. The appeal was successful. New forensic evidence showed that the fibres previously linked to George were unreliable. He was acquitted, and once again the case was left unsolved. Since Barry George's acquittal, many theories have continued to swirl around the case. Some believe Jill Dando's murder was a political assassination, possibly connected to her work on Crime Watch. Others think it could be a random act of violence, a burglary gone wrong. There are even those who suspect international espionage could have played a role, suggesting that Jill may have been a target because of her connections to high-profile figures. But to this day, the case remains open, a chilling reminder of how even the most high-profile murders can remain unsolved. Jill Dando's legacy lives on, not only in the memories of those who knew her, but through the Jill Dando Institute of Crime Science at the University College of London, a centre that focuses on developing better ways to prevent and solve crimes. Her life was tragically cut short, but the impact she had on British television, journalism and crime prevention continues to inspire many. And now we're at the end of our journey through the mysterious case of Jill Dando, a case filled with questions, yet so few answers. This case has baffled me because I am aware of this case. I'm aware it's popped up at different times, obviously because of George's acquittal. He's been on like Good Morning Britain and stuff like that, talking about how he feels and his case and having to fight for freedom. But it is a mysterious case. Obviously, this is the late 1990s, so there isn't as much CCTV as there would be now. She just seems like an odd target. I mean, I know she did Crime Watch, but that show went on for years. I remember watching that all the time, so, and I believe, and I might be wrong, so correct me if I am, but I believe she was the only one from Crime Watch to be murdered. So you would have thought if it was organised crime, and it was about that, then wouldn't more presenters and people of the show have been killed because of it? And because that person got away with it once, they would be able to get away with it many times, right? So, yeah, I'm not quite sure how I feel about that theory, but it is an odd one. I don't know. Could it be a burglary gone wrong? I mean, the possibility's there. Was it just a case of, or was it a case of mistaken identity, or just the wrong place at the wrong time? I don't know. I don't know. I can see the issue. I can see the dilemma. Don't get me wrong. But maybe one day we'll get some answers. Fingers crossed. As the night draws in, let your thoughts drift away and feel peace in the unknown. Sleep well. Until next time.